Going on, everybody? This is Pro Wrestling Wire podcast, part of ProWrestlingWire.net, part of Helix Rock Radio, and of course the AIWF network. This is Rick Del Santo. I'm here today with Josh Breezzy. What's going on, Josh?
Hey Rick, what's going on, man?
Not much. I want to thank you for joining me today.
No problem. Thank you
Yeah,
for having me.
yeah. Thank you for coming on, and let's talk a little bit about your career. I understand that you are a man of many talents.
Yeah, just a few, just a few.
Yeah, let's dive a little bit into your wrestling career. So, how did you
Okay.
get started in professional wrestling? How did you discover the world of professional wrestling?
I've been a fan of wrestling my entire life since I was a kid. My parents let me watch it when I was little and stuff. So I always had like the childhood dream of like wrestling. So I'd wrestle with my friends in the backyard and stuff like that. And then, as you said, I'm a man of many talents. So my music career was taking off. We were doing a lot of big things, and then COVID hit and shut everything down. Canceled my tour. Literally was refunding everybody, getting money back from the venues because they had to close, shutdowns, and somehow the only thing that was still going was wrestling and even like schools, like wrestling schools. So I was sitting at home just getting unemployment checks and things like that. And I was like, man, it'd be cool to instead of going to the gym, because most of the gyms are shut down, to just go learn how to wrestle. So I applied to. I was living in North Carolina at the time, so I applied to Firestar Pro Wrestling, and I think it's in Greensboro. And they said, "Come on down. We have a class starting soon." And I said, "Cool, I'll be there." So then I think that was like 2 weeks between when I applied and when they said they were starting up. And I happened to see on Instagram that the Nightmare Factory was starting a thing, and I was like, "Okay, cool. I like Cody Rhodes, AEW, big AEW fan." So I applied to that. Didn't think I would ever get anything from it. Never heard back from them. And I was on my way to Firestar for the first day, and I get a call from a number I don't recognize. So decline it. I got like an hour drive ahead of me. Then I get a text message, and it's QT Marshall saying, "Hey, this is QT from the Nightmare Factory. We have a spot open. It's yours if you want it. Just give me a call back." I still have that text message in our thread. Like I never deleted it, just so I always remember like what the start. And so I pull into this church parking lot and I pull over. I'm like, I'm reading the text message. I'm like, I gotta call him back. So I call him back and he's like, "Yeah, we had a couple guys drop out last minute. You were next up in line. The spot is yours if you want it. This is the details. Just think it over and get back to me." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna turn around, let Firestar know I'm not coming." And yeah, the rest is kind of history. Started I think it was 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from that call, I had to be at the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, and now I'm here.
What was it like walking in on your first day and meeting such as QT Marshall?
So the first day was nerve-wracking. I'm not the biggest. I'm very sociable when I need to be, like when I need to entertain, but when it's just me walking into somewhere for the first time, not knowing anybody, have no expectations of what it's about to be, it's very tough to get out of the car and walk in, but I eventually did, and it was very welcoming. I told QT like probably a couple weeks in, like I'm not really familiar with your stuff. And so I really didn't know much about who QT was. Um, but ever since then, he's been like one of my top guys to just watch and learn from. And so just he was always awesome. Cody, we were class one. Cody was always there every class, every day, stayed longer, would work with you individually, help you out. And Lloyd Glacier also was always there. Fantastic. We had some of the Dark Order guys, Ricky Starks, Jay Cargill, Anna Jay. That first class, man, was just there were so many people that were just great, and I could just speak highly of for days. But so it was definitely a great time and a great investment. I can't
Was
hear you. Oh,
was
there we
Luke
go.
Sampson there? Was Luke Sampson there at the time?
He was, but
Yeah.
he was more so in the like the night class. A lot of the
Okay.
guys from like the Monster Factory that would train with QT still. I know he's like the head trainer there now, but
Yeah.
at the time he was still training himself. So
He's a friend of a friend, so I hear a lot of his updates and stuff like that. So
okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever spoken to him personally, but I've always hear about the goings on and the positivities of the Nightmare
Mm,
Factory and stuff. So
okay,
was
cool.
so I'm guessing professional wrestling walking in was not what you expected to be into your first day of class when asking to take bumps and such.
Yeah, it was different. It's like you always find the people that say pro wrestling is fake, and as a fan, you defend it, and it's not fake. They're actually doing things, but you don't know what it feels like to go take a bump. So that first bump when your back is hitting the plywood on top of steel, like with that little bit of padding in between, like it sucks. And I've seen a lot of people compare it to a 30-mile-per-hour car crash, and they are 100% correct. Because it's just something that you get numb to over time and it hurts less and less, but at the same time that you'll never forget that first bump. You'll never forget the first bump after some time off. And a lot of people say all the time, like you have your bump card. Don't max out your bump card. So yeah, just everything about pro wrestling is real. And I try to a lot of times on different promotions, I'll get there early to help set the ring up. And I try to give my non-wrestling friends and fans and everything a little insight into what a pro wrestling ring looks like. And they're always shocked when it's the steel bars and they see the guys and me loading up plywood or two by or the big long boards. And it's just like they're like, oh wow, like that's how do you do that? And I'm like, man, it's just you gotta just love it, really.
It's I always invite people down to the school. I kind of associate myself with the Paradise Alley School out of East Haven, Connecticut here, run by Paul Roma and Mario Mancini. And anytime somebody says it's fake, I'm like, well, come down one night, then
Right?
I'm going down there, hang out, and get in the ring and see what happens.
And just
Usually it's a polite decline once they,
they
you
see
know,
the first bump, they hear it. That's the
yeah,
thing too. Like when you watch it on TV, like you kind of hear it, but it's TV.
right.
When you're in person, you hear it, you kind of hear the boards just bounce off each other and off the steel. You're like, oh, that looks like it sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about your first match that you went into.
My first official match at the showcase was me and my tag partner at the time, Mr. Nice Guy, and we took on Rosario Grillo and Hunter Knott, TSF at the time. Rosario Grillo, you could catch on Ring of Honor, AEW these days. Hunter's recovering from a shoulder injury. But yeah, it was great, man. We were the nice guys. We kind of got thrown together after a promo class we did. And Cody just really loved our promo. And I think he tweeted about it too. I think I saw the screenshot of him tweeting about us winning promo night and kind of was like, yeah, you guys are a tag team from now on. So then we wrestled them and we were putting the match together and we had all these great spots. And my I pitched this idea to QT's wife that we came out of a Happy Meal box, like kind of like the New Day with the cereal box. And we were the nice guys. So what better thing to come out of than a Happy Meal box? And she loved it. So she told it to him and he was like, do it. So we did that. And because we were doing that, we were originally supposed to win that match. Here's a little, let's break kayfabe a little bit. We were supposed to win that match because why wouldn't the baby faces go over? And Cody overheard us going over that with QT, and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You guys can't come out of this Happy Meal box, have this great entrance, get over, and then go over. He was like, wrestling is about one person gets over, one person goes over. So you guys are gonna get over. TSF, you're going over and change the finish like the day of the show. So if you watch the match, we have this big the coup de grace, like Hardy Boys, double corners. Drops the elbow, I hit the swanton, and the crowd was like it was family, friends, a lot of AEW dark people like Jade is I think when I take the bump off the apron into the guardrail, I think I like bumped into Jade a little bit and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That was on the fly. We're a little lost here." But yeah, so we hit the coup de grace, and then it's just the crowd is behind us, one, two, and you think, and they kick out, and we're like, no, and it kind of just took all the life out of the crowd because they were like, man, and then we lose, and it was kind of like it was a good moment, but like I feel like everybody after the show was like, man, you guys should have won that match, you guys should have won that match, but it is what it is, man, you know. But it was a fun time.
You still got time. You're still young. You've only been doing this a couple years now, right? Since COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
COVID, as you were talking, COVID shut the whole entire world down. But yeah, professional wrestling was still going, and it was kind of fantastic because they still created new product every week, whether it was people create AEW and WWE continuing to do stuff on TV, smaller promotions continuing to do empty arena stuff or minimal, uh, gymnasium size places. You know what I mean? Like maybe 10 people in the crowd.
Mm.
And it was while it was just such a dark time in the entire world, the professional wrestling kept going and making everybody kind of forget about that stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, it saved me a lot. Like just having something to watch live, like
Yeah,
because even like your regular TV shows, they were shut down too. So sports shut down for the most part. And like I'm not really that much into sports these days, but like it
yeah,
was just wrestling is just like the perfect mixture of sports and reality television where like you get your action and everything, but you also get your storylines and things like that. So it was just something good to have during those times when you didn't know what was going on in the real
yeah.
world.
Well, I started the show 2019, and I think it launched, or that happened later on in the year, a couple months later. And uh, having absolutely nothing to do besides sit home and drink alcohol with my friends that came and visited and then I would sit at podcast every day. I would, now I'm approaching 400 episodes so it's
Uh-huh.
like, I just kind of like pumped out content because the hell are we gonna do? We watch TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's nothing else to do than drink alcohol and hang out. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Before I started wrestling, I was just like I said, I was just sitting at home. I could make music, but I couldn't go perform it anywhere,
Right.
and it wasn't much to make because I just put an album out. So I'm kind of just like riding the push of that, doing videos and stuff. So between like that and starting wrestling, I was listening to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast just on my porch, eating Magic Spoon, drinking super coffee with my dog. And I started collecting action figures. I got back into that, and now I have like the best Hardy Boys collection in the planet. I'm cool with Matt Cardona, cool with the Hardys. It's insane. Like I was getting like so much free money, let's call it, from like the pandemic money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you pay your rent with the first check, you pay your bills and everything, and then you have extra, and you're just like, okay, cool. Like let me get this rare Hardy Boys figure I haven't seen since I was 7. Oh, and let me get these two also. Oh, and deal like the action figure world was just at such a boom during that time that like some of these figures I look back and I'm like, oh, like I got that at a steal because it was, $150 because people were just trying to sell stuff. And now you look at it and that same figure is $400 like running on eBay now and because nobody wants to buy it, nobody has the money to buy it. You don't want to settle for a low price because you need money. So it's just crazy. Like people come over and like they see my collection now and they're like, "Yo, this is like a museum." And it's like, would I have been like I was collecting a little bit here and there like before I moved to North Carolina. And then, like during the pandemic, it just took off. And then ever since then, it's just been like this weird addiction to get all of them. And I have like 4 left that I need. And now they're starting to pump out more like like they left AEW and then AEW just pumped out like 3 Hardy Boys figures like back to back to back. It's a mess, man. It's a mess, but I'm here.
I know. The pandemic collectors market boomed.
Hmm.
It made everything go up in value. Everybody's doing virtual sales and stuff like that.
Yep.
I know I bought my fair share of wrestling collectibles, and now I'm sitting at conventions trying to sell most of it. You know what I mean? That I don't need.
I hear you.
You
Listen,
know?
I was AEW figures just came out. I ran to the Walmart every day until the shipper came with Series 1, grabbed all the Series 1 and the shipper, and then sold it all for like pennies the other day. Or not
Yeah,
the other day, but a couple months ago to a toy shop. Cause I'm like, why do I need this Jungle Boy? Why do I need it? Like, I don't need it's just sitting in totes in my garage. Like, I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah. You have a belt sitting behind you. Why don't you tell me about this belt, your championship? I've seen pictures of you wearing that belt as well.
Yeah, so this is actually the Icon Championship. Just won it recently. The one you're referring to is probably the God's Gift World Championship. That one is that's usually where it is. I'm waiting for another holder because now I have two belts.
Okay.
So but the one behind me is the Icon Championship. Just won it for the Guardians Legacy out of Panama City in Florida. So it was actually kind of cool. They kind of did a like a Cyber Sunday tournament kind of thing, and they let the fans vote. So what they did was they had two brackets. I think it was like 4 weeks, 4 rounds, and they had fan votes till the finals, and then the finals was an actual match at their fantastic show in what are we in December
Yeah.
7th. So I kind of took it a lot more serious than everybody else at first, and I was talking to the promoter, and he was like, "Man, you really set the bar high." And because the first round, it was me versus Cody Jacks, and I'm cool with Cody, and I was making like AI, Barack Obama videos saying, forget what everything else is going on in the world right now. Vote Josh Breezy for Icon Champ. Like I was doing all this stuff, shooting videos, and I think that first round, me and Cody each got like 400 votes. It was like
Wow.
400. It was like 450 to like 430 or something. I won, and no other round got to 400 except one. One, I think I was involved in that one also, but it was just set a bar. And then like even the pages for the page likes and the followers for Guardians Legacy was through the roof, and it was a fun thing, and I think it really got everybody involved. And then the finals ended up being me versus Xander King, and we had a match. And yeah, now I'm Breezy two belts. It was a great match. We got everything in. We gave the fans everything that they wanted. There was probably 250 people in the crowd there, and they were all on their feet for all the false finishes and stuff. So it's gonna be an
I've
exciting time.
I've seen you done some work with Pro South. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. That promotion I discovered actually during the pandemic. During the pandemic. Well, no, not during the pandemic. Like a few years before the pandemic, I rediscovered professional wrestling out of being out of it for about 3 years. But
Mhm.
then Pro South was one of the first indies that I discovered. And I live in Connecticut, and they were doing like a weekly YouTube stream every Friday night, and I would sit there every night and Friday night and watch it. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a very I don't watch it as much now as often, but um, I find it to be a very interesting product. Do you have anything to comment on that company there?
Um, I am very grateful for Pro South gave me my first opportunity outside of the Nightmare Factory.
Okay.
Me and Jacob Thrasher, we wrestled the Goon Squad, the Goon Platoon, Carly Bravo, and I am forgetting his name right now off the top of my head. But yeah, so Carly had us come down and was like, "Man, you guys got to book Breezy, blah blah." So then they were like, "All right, you got Carly, you want to put him over? You're gonna wrestle him next week." So we came down. Carly actually he called for a knee in the corner. It's gonna come to was gonna come to this side, right? So I turned my face to take it and knees me on this side, puts my tooth through my lip, concusses me, gives me a Northern Light suplex into a pin. I kick out, I sit up, and I spit blood
Oh,
just out of like instinct. And there's a great photo of like me kicking out, spitting the blood with the ref in between us. Like it's a great thing. And just cracked my tooth, everything. It was a great time. But I think no, we lost that one. I missed the swanton, I think. Oh no, I crucifix out of the swanton. I hit it and he crucifixed me. But ever since then, I was like, man, Carly, I gotta get my get back. So I know you're doing a lot, you're doing your thing on Ring of Honor right now, but I'm coming for you. Just gotta keep watch your six. That's what they say, right?
who knows? Maybe it'll happen in Ring of Honor. You never know.
Hey, you never know. But Pro South is great, man. Everything they're doing up there. I'm not there anymore, but
Hmm.
the things that they're doing up there, they're doing a lot of good things. And shouts to Ace Haven. Had a lot to do. Ace Haven and Cam had a lot to do with the making of Mayhem and Namura, the cinematic match that I did last year. So yeah, nothing but positive things to say.
Nice, nice. Where else do you put in your time?
You said where else?
Yeah, where else?
Uh, right now, the last few months I just got married.
Oh,
So the last few months,
congratulations.
thank you. The last few months have been kind of just taking slim bookings, just because weekends are just time to plan and save and things like that. So, recently it's just been the Guardians Legacy in Panama City, Aware Wrestling up in somewhere in the South Georgia, Kraken Pro Wrestling in Tifton, Georgia. I did ALW out here in Cocoa. I think yeah, it's in Cocoa Beach, and just been trying to just make a stable place in those, and then just kind of open to filling weekends there. But between those, it's hard. Everybody runs the same days,
Yeah.
um, especially like in the same areas that want to pay you. You can get Friday shows that pay you $10, and don't let you set up a merch table. But I think I'm past that my time. But yeah, so it's really just those places for now, with hopes to just kind of keep going. Do Proving Ground,
Oh,
that
okay.
a couple times. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm trying to get back. Just tough. It's a Friday show and it's 3 hours from my house, so it's like a
Where
bit
is
of.
that? Where do they run?
They are Port Richey,
Okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
They have connections with WWE and FIP and things like that. So it's like it's a good show to be on. The last show I did there, I wrestled this kid. He was like his 10th match. And when I came through the back, like I went over, but when I came through in the back, the promoters were like, "Man, I didn't expect you to give him that much. Like we kind of thought you were gonna squash him." And I was like, "Why would I squash him?" I was like, What?" I was like, "He's here all the time. I'm here, when I can be. Like, yeah, I was like double his size, but he's faster than me. He's more cut up than me. Like, he should get his stuff in.
Right.
Like you're not pushing me as a champion right now, so why wouldn't I?" And he was like, "Man, we need more people like you." And I even try to tell like a lot of the guys at the Guardians Legacy and Kraken and things like that. I'm like, there's one thing about me is I'm never gonna be the selfish wrestler. One thing that Cody taught us was always treat everybody you meet like The Rock, regardless of where they are on the card, who they are, if you know them, if you don't, shake their hand, treat them as if they're Dwayne Johnson. And so when I get matches, like going back to Cody Jacks, we worked in a wear show, and he was worried this too that I was going to be selfish and kind of squash him. And I'm like, brother, get all your stuff in. You're faster than me. You got like a ricochet move set. Like I'm John Cena. Like I 5 moves to doom, swanton, side effect, rough rider. Let's take it home. Like get all your stuff in. He got a bulldog in. I was like, if you make it make sense where you're faster than me, you're ducking lines, you're taking out my legs, you're hitting me with this move. And like, as long as I cut you back off or I get back on top because I'm bigger than you, it'll make sense and you'll still be able to show your thing. And so after that match, we got to the back and he just like gave me this hug and was like, "Man, thank you." He was like, "I've so many times I go to wrestle and I can't show what I could do." And I'm like, "Man, we're not here to bury each other." I was like, "We're here
Yeah.
to put each other over." I was
Right.
like, if I'm gonna go over, then I'm gonna let you get your stuff in. Now, if you're gonna beat me, maybe we do it to where I don't really get a chance to do anything to you because you were just too quick. You rolled me up or something. But yeah, man, I don't know how we got there, but yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I know we only got a couple minutes left, so I want to definitely have you back sometime in the beginning of the year as my schedule opens up a little bit more. I know we're rushing through the holiday to try to get as many
yeah,
shows in and then we're all trying to do our shopping and get everything in. So I know you got a great music career that we sort of discussed in the beginning. Why don't you tell everybody where you can find all your stuff, your socials, your wrestling? I see that you have quite a unique YouTube channel as well that's got all sorts of stuff up there.
yeah, man. You could. That's the one thing. It was hard for me to decide. Like, do I want to make several separate YouTube channels or just become a fan of me as a person? And something that I
Right.
learned in music and kind of in wrestling was like, if the fans love you as a person, they'll invest in whatever you do. That's why Matt Cardona could show up anywhere and sell out, and he can go make action figures. He could go sell pizza cutters. He could sell his wife's underwear on whatnot. Like he could literally do anything because the fans don't just love Matt, or they don't just love the character Matt Cardona. They love Matt Cardona and or what they see from Matt Cardona. So um part of having the connection to him has definitely been great. So just me being able to do music, do wrestling, collect action figures, do paranormal ghost hunting, like I feel like it's all in this weird like subculture. Like it all
Right.
works somehow.
Right.
Like if you're
Yeah.
into wrestling, you probably watch Ghost Adventures. So like if you're into Josh Breezy, you probably would sit for 30 minutes and watch him go hunt some ghosts. Like
Right,
so
right.
yeah, you could definitely watch all that on youtube.com/Josh Breezy, two E's, two Z's, two Y's. As far as music goes, I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, same name, same character, same gimmick. And then yeah, if you want to watch me unbox some toys, do some toy rooms, we got some cool guest appearances. You could go on the Major Wrestling Figure channel. Matt came to my house, did a room tour of my collection recently. I think it's the most streamed tour or the most streamed video of the year. I think it was. It was at like
Oh wow.
80,000. So it's been a while since they did a number like that. But yeah, so just type in Josh Breezy on Google and you'll find a whole plethora of things.
Yes, you will. Check out the music. I had a chance to check a little bit out before the show began. I want everybody to go check it out. It's not my thing because I'm a rock and roll guy, but
Hey, there's
you know,
there's a song. So I'll end with this story here. I grew up. My dad was very hip hop
yeah.
and like Kiss. Weird. It was like
Yeah, it's a
hip
weird
hop.
combo, yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
LL Cool J, Run DMC, Kiss. So it kind of made sense. And then my mom was like Bon Jovi and like the softer side of rock and roll. But then my brothers and like I grew up at the like the height of Eminem. So like
Right.
my brothers were like giving me the Slim Shady LP and things like that. So I kind of had a lot. So during the pandemic, after I had put the album out, I kind of had some extra beats that I was just sitting on, didn't really know what to do. And there's this one song, I don't even think I have it on my drive anymore. It's on a flash drive somewhere, but it's called Sunflower. And it was like this Limp Bizkit-y Post Malone thing, but it's got these sick guitars and like this big bridge and everything. But then it like calmed down. Oh, it was great. It's like my experimental like hip hop rock and roll
Right, right.
song. And I loved it so much, but I was like, what happens if I put this out and nobody so it just sat there. But every year I get the Snapchat memory of me putting it on my story to see what everybody likes. But yeah, man, rock and roll is cool, man. I love me some rock and roll. I just love
Yeah, I mean,
music.
me too. I do. I do. I love a lot of, I worked in a record store for 30 years. All right.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, on top of working in the clubs in New Haven, Connecticut area, et cetera, et cetera. So, I got to experience lots of different music. And I'm not saying that it's not my thing, meaning I don't like it. It's just, you know, I I just lean towards a different side. You know what I mean? I listen to a
Gotcha.
lot of gospel music with my wife on Sunday mornings, who's a church
Okay.
lady. So,
There you go. Listen,
you know,
you catch me with a so like the Kanye Donda album I really loved more so for the gospel elements and like whenever you
right.
put Kanye and a choir together, I am in heaven. Like and or an R&B guy and a choir and just like Through the Wire by Kanye with the choir.
Yeah.
Gospel's the thing. But it's funny you're from Connecticut. I went to the University of Bridgeport.
Okay. That's
Right.
about 30 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the
Yes,
arena
man.
over there, which I've witnessed,
Yeah.
concerts, wrestling, hockey, and then there's an amphitheater there like right next door. That's a beautiful concert venue that I went to. We went to like some gospel concert last year for my wife. She's into that Kirk Franklin guy. So
Okay, Kirk Franklin. I love me some
yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So we
it's
went and
funny
saw him last year.
you remember when Edge threw the title into the river?
Yes.
That was at the ferry in Bridgeport.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
took the ferry because I'm from Long Island, so I would take the ferry every couple of weekends to go back home. And one day, like somehow that clip popped up, and I was like, I'm literally getting off the boat where Edge threw the title in the water. I was like, this is insane. But yeah, man, I used to
Yeah, that's
drive to
wild.
New Haven for insomnia cookies.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We go there. See, there's a rock. A theater, performance venue, I guess you can call it, next door to it now. So we always walk
Oh wow,
after going. I guess you can call it like a small theater. So always after the shows. That's where we end
hmm
up is Insomnia Cookies.
great place, man.
Yeah, yep, yeah. All right, man. I want to say thank you again and enjoy your day.
Yeah, man, you too. Thanks for having me.